Hey everybody, welcome back to React TCG. Um, if I sound different, or if the audio sounds any different or anything like that, or if there's more noise in the background, it's because I'm recording somewhat different. I'm at my friend's house for a bit, visiting and stuff. But I'm gonna be visiting for the whole weekend, and I wanted to get a video out. So I'm currently recording in their basement instead of in my bedroom like I normally do. We'll see if it affects the audio or anything. Hopefully it doesn't. With that out of the way, let's get right into our first battle. Sorry, our first video. Rip open this pack and stuff. We got Ant-Man. Sorry, I got like a frog in my throat. Ant-Man versus Atom. Um, I do like Atom more. You know, people who watch this, or watch my channel know that I like DC better than Marvel. But, that being said, Atom he's a smart guy who, depending on the continuity, either invented a belt or a suit that can help him shrink using white dwarf star technology or some shit like that. But um, Ant-Man, meanwhile, I don't like. Hold on, my audio looks like it's being weird. Yeah, so he Ant-Man, I don't really like him. Actually, depends on the Ant-Man. I like Scott Lang. I do not like Hank Pym, who I believe is the Ant-Man they're using for this fight. That dude's a piece of shit, honestly. Like, I don't care if you try to defend him. He sucks. Um, but he is also the scientist supreme, and there's a reason he has that title. So I think in the end, if it's Hank Pym like I think it is, he's gonna beat Adam. If it's Scott Lang, maybe Adam has a chance. Jeez. Oh. Alright, let's get into this, guys.
Ant-Man, Marvel's founding member of the Avengers.
The Atom, DC's legendary Mighty Might.
Good things come in small packages.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
We're just trying to get these out of the way.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a
A
death
death
battle.
battle.
Did you know that ants can lift 50 times their own body weight? That'd be like if you lifted a car straight over your head.
I did, thanks to my fun fact of the day calendar. Also, Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada yesterday.
Well, I bet your
What?
calendar didn't tell you that Dr. Henry Pym, aka Hank, was considered a genius at a very early age. By 3 years old, doctors declared that he was smarter than both his parents combined.
He eventually majored in biochemistry and
Alrighty, real name, Dr. Henry Hank Pym. His natural height is 6 feet or 183 centimeters. Natural weight is 135 pounds or 84 kilograms. Um, Biochemistry major and a cybernetics minor. Knows judo, karate, and wrestling. Is the headmaster of the Avengers Academy, one of the top 5 smartest people alive. And it's also been known as Ant-Man, Giant Man, Yellow Jacket, the Wasp, and of course, Scientist Supreme, in case you didn't know, because he loves to bring it up. You know the joke about how people from Harvard have always got to mention that that they went to Harvard? It's like that times a million. any chance he gets, anytime he gets a chance to show how smart he is, he has to mention that he is the scientist supreme. He's so amazing.
Became one of the most successful scientists in his field. He had big ideas about shrinking the size of cargo to reduce shipping costs.
Smart.
Logistics.
All of which made him a laughingstock in the scientific community
Fuck
and
you
sparked
guys.
a long-lasting insecurity and need to prove himself.
But he did it. He developed a working serum. He went from laughing stock to Christmas stocking. The much better stock, right behind Bean and Life.
So, naturally, he tested the serum on himself, like any self-respecting scientist would, and
Yeah,
shrank
no,
down
totally.
to the size of an ant.
And just when things started going south, a sweet little ant, let's call her Aunt Hathaway, swooped in and led Hank safely back to his lab where he could return to full size.
Hank then harnessed the serum and became the superhero, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Along with his new identity came a fascination in entomology, which makes total sense. Ants are fascinating.
Did you know that ants can
Kinda.
talk to each other in a bunch of different ways? Through touch, sound, or even sharing information by barfing at each other.
It's actually
Ew.
called trophallaxis, and they're not barfing per se.
The mutual exchange of regurgitated liquids between adult social insects or between them and their larvae. That sounds like barfing.
It's more like passing food mouth to mouth.
Gross! Hank figured out how to communicate with his new pets, not by barfing, but by creating a cybernetic helmet that mirrors an ant's
Cybernetic helmet, built for communication between man and insect, has an antenna, shell, houses miniaturized electronic equipment. Transmitter sends impulses from the wearer on the ant's frequency. The decoder is a miniature computer that changes incoming and outgoing signals into intelligible meanings. Oh, so that's how you can understand the ants. And receiver, open to vibrations from the ant's antennae.
antenna, and he's even developed genuine relationships with some ants, like Ulysses' ant here.
But he didn't stop there. Hank developed a lot.
Cybernetic helmet, cyber no helmet, insects stinger pistol, the Ant-Man suit, the image inducer camouflage, tool belt, size pellets, and shrinking gas.
A lot of amazing tech like a stinger pistol that focused.
Cellular disruptor gun, microscopic cybernetic sensors, portable PIM pocket holes, PIM particle stream device, portable communicator, jetpack, eraser tech, neural inhibitor, and a nylon lasso.
His bioenergy into a stun beam and image-inducing camouflage to mask himself as an ant. It worked so well it fooled Reed Richards, the smartest guy on the planet.
He also built a suit that runs on that nifty serum he made back in his lab. It lets him shrink thanks to the newly discovered PIM particles, named after himself.
Of course.
Classic Hank.
And the PIM particle is the key to unlocking the fundamental constants of the quantum mechanics at play here. They enable you to decrease the distance between atoms. However, in order to do that, he'd have to change the Bohr radius, the ratio of electron mass to the distance the electrons orbit an atom.
Physical constant approximately equal to the most probable distance between the nucleus and the electron and the hydrogen atom in its ground state. It is named after Niels Bohr due to its role in the Bohr model of an
Atom's nucleus.
Well, of course. Like how when you make a bagel pizza, you can't fit the whole pizza on the bagel. Believe me, I've tried. It's too small. You just gotta put less on.
Sure, Boomstick. So the PIM particles are actually displacing mass to an alternate dimension in order to maintain that ratio.
Oh, it's like having a second bagel to put the rest of your pizza on. I get it.
But if that were true, he shouldn't.
PIM particles are responsible for the strength of Thor-level characters like Wonder Man, and have let Hank, as Giant Man, match strength with people such as Hercules, who can lift the entire universe. PIM particles were confirmed to boost others to Hercules-level strength in Avengers West Coast Annual Volume Number 2, Issue Number 8.
Be able to punch with full-size strength if he has less mass.
And he's definitely lighter, because otherwise he'd crush the sweet ants he rides, like Vincent Van Gogh here.
His mass is being replaced with massless neutrinos, but that doesn't adequately explain how he can have less mass and seemingly more mass at the same time.
Sure it does, Wiz. Trust Pim and his particles. Look at the guy. He's explaining the whole thing while wearing a lab coat. What's more trustworthy than that? You're the exception.
You think you understand this?
Oh, of course. He's small but strong. You said something about a boar, so I guess you wanted ham on that pizza, but I already made the pizza.
Will you take that coat off?
No.
No.
Whoa, what's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys,
Regardless, there is virtually
His shrinking is also superior to that of Scott Lang's, who was shrunk down smaller than literal concepts that were being removed from reality by a Celestial in Defenders Volume 4, Issue 11, October 2012.
no limit to Hank's ability to shrink. He can go beyond subatomic down to the underspace, a plane of existence below all realities in the Marvel Universe.
And Hank has literally changed his biology.
Pym particles. Shrinking can decrease the size of himself or others to touch or blast. Growing can increase the size of himself or others to touch or blast. Field naturally generates a field of Pym particles due to a long time exposure. Sonic Shout, Thunderclap, and Super Breath.
He's rewritten his own chemical makeup to prevent anyone else from changing his size. And he's used Pym particles so much, he's now got an energy field around him that lets him change the size of people or objects on the fly, through touch or by straight up firing Pym particles in the air.
He's never shy about using them either. He eventually supplied his wife, Janet Van Dyne, with some Pym tech to become the Wasp, his partner in crime fighting.
The two ended up rubbing shoulders with A-listers like Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk to take down Loki. Ant-Man and the Wasp were actually the ones that captured him and pitched the idea of forming the Avengers.
Unfortunately, Hank's insecurities started to creep back in, and he felt that if he wanted to keep up with the big heroes, he was going to have to think bigger.
Enter a bunch of those Pym-powered alter egos like Yellow Jacket and Giant Man, where he can grow anywhere from 12 feet tall to so big he can enter the overspace.
Defeated Ultron multiple times, former chairman of the Avengers, condensed vision into a black hole against Graviton, can change sizes in a nanosecond, fought evenly with Asgardian-powered villains, grew beyond the microverse into the overspace, the realm of the abstracts, and called Reed Richards a bitch straight to his face. Damn.
Space, the polar opposite of the underspace.
There he met Eternity, who called him Earth.
Alrighty, overspace is a transitional realm that is above the superflow of dreamtime and informational space which democrates infinite universes. Democrats? Infinite universe? I don't know. Timelines and higher dimensions. Hank could briefly enter the overspace before showing side effects, but he should grow to immense sizes short of that with fewer difficulties.
Scientist Supreme. Something he won't let you forget.
Hank pushed himself to these insane heights even though he knew the
Sorry, what happened with the Scientist Supreme?
Enter the overspace, the polar opposite of the underspace.
There he met Eternity, who called him Earth's Scientist Supreme. Something he won't let you forget.
Yeah.
He pushed himself to these insane heights even though he knew the strain on his body could be fatal.
But he simply didn't care and kept pushing himself. Thus, his greatest and worst creation was born.
Ultron.
Yep, all the Tin Man Tron was created by Hank, not Tony like the movies. But the mass murder butt thing turned out pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss there.
The fallout from Ultron left Hank in a bad place, to say the least. His guilt made him feel like an utter failure, and that his best work was behind him. This led Hank to do unspeakable things.
Like bitch slap his wife.
Move. And even though poor mental health doesn't excuse this behavior, it was clear that Hank needed help. He suffered multiple mental breakdowns, endured the physical toll of the Pym particles, and had bipolar disorder that went undiagnosed for years.
So Hank finally did the best thing he could. He acknowledged his problems, got the help he needed, and committed to self-improvement.
And with that help, Hank slowly started making things right. He rebuilt the West Coast Avengers, gave Scott Lang his blessing to become the second Ant-Man, and finally defeated Ultron.
He created a backdoor Trojan infiltration code to defeat Ultron that was so advanced, it went on to replicate and evolve all on its own to create a new species made up of artificial intelligence.
They don't call him the god of modern AI for nothing. Hank has showed over and over again that he's an integral part of the Marvel Universe.
Not just by ways of his scientific contributions or victories in battle, but by proving that heroes come in all shapes and sizes.
Ray Palmer was born your average human-sized person. He grew up in the Northeast, studied physics at Ivy.
Real name, Dr. Raymond Palmer. Natural height, 6 feet. Natural weight, 180 pounds. Well, that's exactly the same as Hank Pym. That's crazy. He has a PhD in physics, knows judo and gymnastics, was trained by the Justice League, learned sword fighting from the Karathians, and is the origins for the myth of Aladdin's lamp. That's actually kind of cool.
University and did everything Mama and Papa Palmer told him to do. Probably.
Everything was pretty typical for Ray until one fateful night when he took a walk to take his mind off a frustrating experiment and saw a meteor fall from the sky.
He ran off to the crash and found himself a life-changing piece of a white dwarf star, and immediately started messing around with it. Who wouldn't?
He discovered that he could focus ultraviolet rays through it and shrink inanimate objects. There was just one problem. When he shrunk things, they exploded. Every time.
I do not see the problem. Sounds like
Of course you
found a
don't.
foolproof way of blowing stuff up. Case closed.
Ray was determined to figure out how to shrink objects without blowing them up. But first, he went on a hike with his nature club. And as a fellow scientist, I have to question his priorities.
But hey, it seems to work for him.
Everybody needs a break
different
sometimes,
hikes
man.
For different mics, am I right?
While in a cave, the ceiling suddenly collapsed, trapping everyone inside. After searching high and low for another exit, Ray found a small opening and had an idea. He could try to shrink himself down and get help, even if it meant he might explode before he got the chance.
But he
And that's
didn't
what makes a true
explode.
hero.
I hope this story has a happy ending at least.
Perplexed, Ray determined there must have been something special about him that made him uniquely immune to the explosive fate. Something super scientifically convenient that we never get.
It's possible this is due to a metagene, although the exact reason still remains a mystery. Regardless, he has since perfected the science to ensure that others do not explode when altering their size.
Get any more information on.
So he got to work and created himself a suit to harness the power of the white dwarf star and became the Atom!
Adam uses the white dwarf fragment
Shrinking can shrink himself and others to microscopic levels through touch or via his equipment. Mass alteration, controlling his own body mass, rearrange his atoms. At a shrunken state, he can manipulate the atoms in people and objects. Mind manipulation. At a shrunken state, he can make mental suggestions. Interesting. Nuclear blast. By re-expanding a molecular fracture charge, he can create small nuclear blasts. It's pretty cool. He can shrink himself small enough to pass through objects, and flight, riding air or light pathways via mass alteration.
decrease his size while having control over his density, which makes a lot of sense considering that white dwarfs have the mass of a star, like the sun, but their volume is more like the Earth's, making them among the densest objects in space.
Just a teaspoon of the stuff could weigh up to 100 tons. That's
Damn.
one strong spoon.
When Adam shrinks and shifts his weight, he's actually sending his extra mass to a dimension called the mass zone.
Where, Adam could maybe live forever. At one point,
Interesting.
Ray's apprentice, Ryan Choi, was murdered by Deathstroke, but willed some of his mass to the mass zone and was able to survive in that dimension. So these guys can potentially cheat death.
Ryan Chow was stuck in the mass zone. He could share his mass with Ray Palmer. Ray then realized that if his hand was cut off, Ryan could share his mass with the severed hand, form a new body with it, and escape the mass zone. Interesting.
But would be stuck there without any outside help.
But from one scientist to another, what's most impressive is Ray's creation of the Bio Belt. That's what allows Adam to use the power.
His bio belt is a suit made of white dwarf star. Has a sword dipped in Clarthian poison, metal knuckles, shrinking blanket, crossbow, miniature blaster, nuclear destabilization, dimension vibrator, and a magic satchel. Just a second, guys. Sorry, just checking my
Or of a
volume
white dwarf
stuff.
and shrink while maintaining any weight, from immaterial to his full 180 pounds. There's even been times where it's stated that he was able to become almost as dense as a white dwarf star itself for a few seconds.
The belt
Damn.
is also how he can travel through phone lines or through the air, on currents or light beams. Over time, Ray has spread out the white dwarf power to other parts of his suit, and now the bio belt acts as a utility belt for his shrunken weapons and tech. It also prevents his size or mass from being altered by any outside forces.
And while he can only increase his size back to his natural 6 feet in height, his ability to shrink is near limitless. He can travel between subatomic space to the microverse, the foundation of all reality in the DC.
He can potentially shrink even smaller than that, given that he was able to reach sizes that even Dr. Manhattan was unable to affect with his reality warping, meaning he would have had to have shrunk smaller than ideas and concepts themselves.
Universe, where atoms become the size of planets.
Typically, he can increase back to his normal size with such force he can smash through diamonds. So if Adam increases his size too much while still within the microverse, he could blow up the entire
The microverse exists within all matter in the main multiverse within the ordinary of worlds, and may even extend as far as the Speed Force wall, which is stated to be the limit to matter by the DC multiverse map. This would encompass infinite universes, timelines, and higher dimensions, though would fall short of transcendental realms beyond this, such as the Spear of Gods.
fabric of reality from the inside out.
Shrinking down to that size means that he can shrink small enough to rearrange atoms themselves.
Yep, Ray can take individual molecules and rapidly expand them to cook up a small nuclear blast in the palm of his hand. Oh, Ray Palmer. I just got that.
He also once disarmed a bomb by rearranging its atoms. At that size, he can move at the velocity of light. So fast and so randomly, he basically acted as a barrier between any and all possible atom combinations. But come on, there's no scientific explanation here for him to have superhuman senses or awareness to comprehend being everywhere at the same time.
Ah, it makes total sense. If you're small enough, you can fit in almost everything, everywhere, all at once. Like how you can fit an entire pizza into a calzone, and then you have a whole pizza everywhere inside the calzone. Man, I get it. Science is pizza.
No, science is all I have. Why are you doing this to me?
On top of all of Ray's
Fuck,
amazing
Boomstick.
inventions and abilities, he's also got some more classic weapons like a laser blaster and a frickin' sword he used to fight a giant crocodile. Relative to his size.
That was when Ray was believed to be dead, but was actually just stuck at 6 inches tall and stranded in the Amazon rainforest, where he encountered an alien race known as the Catarthans.
And get this, he ended up leading a rebellion.
Moved a white dwarf star fragment, hits with the force of a white dwarf star, thinks it moves with the velocity of light, became a million possible quanta, survived the vacuum of space for 10 seconds, took a de-adhesion beam that disintegrated Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Green Lantern, and defeated Kronos, the Time Thief, the Buckeye Bandit, and Strobe.
Against their tyrant king and became the ruler of all the Kardashians.
And his heroism didn't stop there. The Atom was a very well-respected hero, and was even asked to join the Justice League of America shortly after it was formed.
He fought alongside Batman and his best bud, Hawkman. And you don't fight with those guys without picking up a thing or two.
Impressive combat skills aside, Atom's greatest contribution to the legendary team was always his incredible mind.
He once created kryptonite inside of Superman by realizing that if he gathered up enough Kryptonian protons, they would eventually become radioactive.
While stranded in limbo, Atom realized that if the Flash sped up the rate of a nuclear reaction's stellar evolution to exhaust its core, they could turn a fire demon into a black hole and use it as a wormhole to get back to Earth.
He's a brilliant, hard-working, and determined scientist that never stops working on a problem until he's found a solution. I mean, if I figured out how to blow stuff up as well as he did, I would have stopped right there. I'm the hero that blows stuff up. Wouldn't even need to change my name.
Ray Palmer lived the dream, going from research scientist to legendary superhero. He picked up the pieces presented to him and built something greater than the sum of its parts.
Who knew this tiny titan with massive brains would have just as much brawn to back it up?
Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
No ad?
Porn
Nice.
addiction turns high IQ men into
I mean,
silent
ad here, but
underachievers.
no ad
They're
for
highly
Death Battle.
intelligent, always told they had so much.
Shut up.
You should pick on someone your own size,
Lol.
relatively speaking. How did you do this? It's laced with a particle I've never seen before. They're called Pym particles. And I'm Hank Pym, Scientist Supreme. You should have known.
See what I mean about the Harvard thing? Damn. Oh shit.
You're using pieces of a white dwarf star? That's cute. Everything we needed already existed. You just needed to be smart enough to put the pieces together. Scientist Supreme?
Like how, like it looks so epic to that, but it's just regular shit.
Did you know that at any given moment, there are about 2.5 million ants under your feet? I mean, that makes sense, but why are you bringing that up right now?
It's a really good Ray Palmer voice.
Took you long enough. Okay, let's try this. I'll hack his belt. You lay low and let me know what you find. Huh? Nice try. If I search every electron path in his gun and study their probability wave functions,
That ant went inside of it, didn't it?
might be able to.
Like, he got rid of Ant-Man, but he didn't get rid of the ant, did he? You guys did not destroy the universe with your fight.
What's happening? He must be reaching his limit. If we don't get out of here quick, he's gonna destroy all of reality. Now, my pets! You have your tricks and your tools, but I created something beyond the limits of human existence.
Yeah, we get it, you're smart.
Scale you can't even comprehend.
Destroyed his belt and dragged him to the overspace.
You can't be afraid to think big.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, inside of him.
Ant-Man and Atom both had many answers to each other's abilities and arsenals. Both were able to store various weapons at a shrunk.
Ant-Man was smarter, stronger, and more durable. His powers came naturally, and he had a much larger arsenal. There was also the argument that he could shrink smaller at worst stalemates, but their speed was similar. The Atom, on the other hand, could control the density of his size, could affect the probability of some of Hank's weapons, but he couldn't grow larger than his natural height, and his bio belt is susceptible to hacking. He has less examples of shrinking the sizes that Hank has attained, and of course, like I said, their speed was similar.
State. Both were trained in judo, and they both could obviously keep up with each other's ability to shrink at will.
Though there was one small thing Adam couldn't answer to. The ants! Hank's
Yeah.
bond with his pets lent him some small advantages, and Ray just didn't have enough
Basically
anti-ant
meant that he had an
tools in his
army
bio
team.
belt.
But in Adam's defense, the fact that he could punch with a fist packed with all of his mass meant that a close-up fight, while small, would leave Hank with few options since he can only punch with his normal human strength.
Even still, all Ant-Man would need to do is keep his dissed ants with the help of his insect confidants and devise another plan of ant attack. Something Hank has no shortage of.
For instance,
Really?
Ant-Man could
Plan of ant attack.
Hank has outfitted hundreds of his ants with image-inducer technologies, giving them ample ways to fool Ray.
Something Hank has no shortage of.
For instance, Ant-Man could alter Atom's size thanks to the Pym particle field he generates. Hank would just need to stall long enough to remove.
Hank hacked into MODOK and the leader's temporal shifting technology and servers while he was in the middle of fighting them in The Incredible Hulk Volume 1, issue number 607.
Or disable Atom's bio belt, and he's had no trouble hacking enemy tech in the past.
But even with the bio belt busted, it wouldn't stop Adam's ability to shrink since the white dwarf power is contained throughout his suit. Destroying the
Right.
belt only meant that Ant-Man could alter Atom's size.
Whereas
Yeah.
Hank has literally rewritten his own biology to prevent.
Well, Hank and Ray could both shrink smaller than concepts. Only Hank had the means to counteract this by forcing Atom into a larger size. The Pym particles are also microscopic within the underspace, meaning Ray could not shrink between them.
And outside size alteration. And while Atom's abilities are definitely impressive, they are limited, and Ant-Man simply aren't, at least by comparison. Hank could always match Ray's size or just take the fight to the overspace where he would have the edge, both physically and mentally.
The overspace can mess with the human mind, but we've seen that Hank can handle it.
But if the Scientist Supreme
Sure,
is really
handle
so
it.
smart, why didn't he just immediately go up Atom's butt and blow him up from the inside?
That's disgusting.
What's wrong with you, Wiz? Aren't you a fellow man of science?
This
Your
is
glasses
the
are upside
meanest
down.
thing you've ever done to me.
Adam sized up Ant-Man, but in the end, he was the one who had to say, Uncle.
The winner is Ant-Man.
Who's he being such a dick that episode? I don't get why Boomstick was being an asshole. Um, Alrighty. Up next, we have got Skyrim versus Dark Souls. I'm not sure how they're gonna do this one because it's player characters, so I don't know who to pick. Like I don't know what skills or anything they'll give them. So let's see what they say. Oh shit. There we go.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Brandon, the Chosen Undead, the accursed god killer from Dark Souls.
The last Dragonborn, the dragon-slaying savior of Skyrim.
Resigned to captivity, these two demi-human heroes embraced their destinies and stared down the very gods themselves.
And devoured their friggin' souls.
Yeah, they did.
These two lack specific canon arsenals and movesets due to being role-playing protagonists. For this death battle, we're giving them everything they have and maxing out all of their stats.
Which is totally possible in-game if you're willing to grind. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Our story begins at the end. The great cities of old have collapsed. The heroes are dead or mad, and the Golden Age is over. Looking out upon their decaying kingdom, everyone would like nothing more than to lay down and die.
Too bad for them.
Oh.
That's the one thing they couldn't do.
The world has been gripped by the undead curse, turning anyone with a mysterious dark sign into mindless, violent hollows upon repeated soul-crushing deaths.
But there is a prophecy of a chosen undead who will journey to Lordran, the home of the gods, and save the world.
This professional 32 TW SSD, capable of holding the entire
Interesting
collection
lore,
of the New
for
York
sure.
Public Library, is something you won't
It's
find
not
at
my
Best
kind
Buy
of game. I've
or any
never played
electronics
Dark
retailer,
Souls.
even if you were willing to drop
I've beaten
$1,000.
Skyrim.
Rotting away in an asylum.
Furtive pygmy descendant. Is ageless. Height, weight, and gender all vary. Is the prisoner of the Northam Asylum. Merged into the Soul of Cinder, likes Tarkus, Sigmire, and Priscilla. Dislikes patches, ballistics, and easy mode. Yeah, that's definitely true.
All it took was an assist from an unlucky knight and a giant raven before one unlikely hero was ready to claw their way through their progenitor's forgotten homeland.
And it helps that as long as they can keep their sense of purpose, an undead will always resurrect at the nearest bonfire. Now, they might slowly lose their memories, their personality, and their sanity, but the curse gives them as much time as they need to get good.
Makes
Undead
sense.
are unnaturally resilient, able to survive being impaled through the chest. They've been chewed, eaten, and digested by
Resurrection, immortality, soul absorption, superhuman survivability, miracles, sorceries, pyromancies, time and dimensional travel, and resistance to poisons, curses, acid, holy, and magic.
what I can only describe as a toilet demon.
What the fuck?
And they can have their souls torn from their very body, because undead humans don't need their souls to survive.
Undead lose their souls and humanity every time they die without immediate consequence. Their hollowed state is likely a reversion to the pre-flame life forms seen in the intro. Okay.
Survive.
Just pop some of that spicy Sunny D and they're good to go. If anything, it seems like they get off to it. And speaking of souls, they can absorb the souls of their fallen enemies to increase their power.
They're a master
Yep.
with swords, hammers, spears, axes, bows, you name it. And that's without any formal training. With the right stats and setup, they can be anything from a cartwheeling assassin to a dragon-smashing tank.
To the giantest of dads. And despite the serious gothic themes of the series, these weapons can get anime as hell. Smo's
Yeah.
Great Hammer is a ginormous
Boss soul weapons, shields, Estus Flask, Humanity, Dark Sign, Green Blossom, Dragon Head, and Torso Stones, Silver Pendant, and a shit ton of rings.
mallet the size of a sedan.
Based on its size and likely bronze composition, it'd have to weigh over 100 tons. A lot like Goff's Great Bow, which can shoot pillar-sized arrows and one-shot dragons out of the sky.
Damn,
Or
that was
my
crazy.
favorite, the Moonlight Great Sword, produced from the ass of the albino dragon and founder of sorcery, Seath the Scaleless. This baby's a universe-hopping
is the founder
anomaly
of
that can
sorceries?
fire powerful sword beams and just looks so cool.
It
Chosen
does.
Undead has learned magic from the greatest practitioners in the world. They can create shockwaves, form defensive barriers, reflect damage, throw balls of flame, control minds, fire magical crystal spears, turn invisible, and toss bolts of sunlight strong enough to peel the stone scales off of mortal dragons.
So their pool of magic is pretty limited. So
Magic, Wrath of the Gods, Great Magic Barrier, Bountiful Sunlight, Homing Crystal Soul Mass, White Dragon Breath, Dark Orb, Chaos Storm, Iron Flesh, Power Within, and a shit ton more.
if it comes down to it, they can shut off all magic in the vicinity with the miracle Vow of Silence.
Preventing
Oh,
anyone
nice.
from speaking any spells aloud, including themselves. With this incredible
That will be helpful
arsenal
against
and judicious
Dragonborn.
attention paid
You
to
won't
the
be able to
stamina
shout.
bar, the Chosen Undead was rolling their way to victory.
A roll so powerful it bends the laws of space and warps them through attacks like they weren't even there. Though sometimes it doesn't work and it's bullshit.
That's just a game mechanic, but great to use when you're panicking.
They've defeated Nido, the god of death, the bed of chaos, the mother of all demonkind, and Calamite, the strongest surviving ancient dragon.
That was when
Damn.
the Chosen Undead was dragged back in time to face the fallen knight Artorias, the greatest warrior in history. And not only defeat him, but accomplish the greatest feat attributed to Artorias' legend, the destruction of Manus, the father of the abyss that threatened to consume the world.
In Dark Souls 3, the abyss has begun to consume the sun. In the untended graves, where the flame has fully gone out, the sky is completely black, with no sun or shines left, sun or stars left shining anywhere.
They've even beaten other chosen undead from alternate worlds, like the best buddy in all gaming, Solaire. Praise the sun, bro! And soon they were approached by these two slithery freaks. One said to link the fire, and the other said to let it die out, which totally makes sense. Wiz can explain it.
Don't look at me. Dark Souls lore is as notoriously
Yeah, it's
convoluted
crazy.
as the flow of its time stream, which is why we have a true expert in the realms of nerdom to explain it for us.
Jocelyn?
Oh, Jocelyn.
Yeah,
You
Jocelyn.
wouldn't believe how many item descriptions, forum posts, and moody 2013 lore videos I had to watch through for this. It's
lot.
story
It was a
time,
lot.
kids. In the beginning, the world was unformed and static. Then suddenly, the first flame burst to life, and with it, the concepts of heat and cold, life and death, energy and time, light and
Repair states that light is time, and the spell relies on the use of light to reverse an object's time, implying the first flame controls all of time. Consistent with alternate timelines, merging due to the flames fading.
dark.
Sounds like a mythological Big Bang.
The gods were granted immensely powerful souls from the first flame, but their greatest fear was the soul possessed collectively by the race known as humanity, the Dark Soul. The Skyfather Gwyn feared humanity's immortality, and so sealed their dark souls within them. But as humanity reproduced, the Dark Soul collectively grew and the first flame waned. Turns out humans were naturally undying, or according to the gods' propaganda, undead.
Gasp! It's all a conspiracy. The undead curse was a lie!
Linking the fire means using your very soul as fuel to keep the first flame burning. If an undead champion believes their immortality is a curse, they'll do anything to prevent it, including burning fragments of the Dark Soul to keep the Age of the Gods going.
So you're a pawn in a game played by decrepit gods desperately clinging to power. Well, that's a huge bummer.
Damn.
They might look like a depressed California raisin, but in order to link the flame, their soul needs to be strong enough to maintain the whole universe and the
The first flame's direct control over fundamental aspects of reality such as energy, light, and time, combined with individual souls being able to maintain the pocket dimension paintings, is enough to conclude that it is a universe-level energy source.
flow of time for another 1,000 years.
Other similarly powerful undead across time are swift enough to dodge lightning and even light itself. Based on their dodge,
Linked to the first flame, or became the Dark Lord, rang the bells of awakening, ascended Sen's fortress, captured the four Lord souls, survived the Anor Londo archers, defeated Ornstein and Smog, as well as the four kings, Pinwheel, and Gwen.
compared to this beam and the time it took to reach them, they'd be reacting and moving at over 20% the speed of light.
At the end of their quest, they faced down and defeated Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, long hollowed from linking the flame 1,000 years ago. So, which will you choose? Link the fire and prolong the current age, or let it fade until only dark remains?
This is the biggest bummer of them all. Truth is, it never mattered. The cycle just continues age after age, with new heroes replacing the old ones, until the chosen undead was long forgotten.
Until the infinite march of time ground the world to ash. It was never about the happy ending. It didn't exist. It was about the struggle to get there. That's ultimately what gives us meaning.
I got one challenge for you. Try
That's why Dark Souls is so hard.
time, and I promise you'll understand why I
Skip.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Marvel and had the mission hype orchestra everything. Don't
Yeah,
wait.
he is great. Check him out,
Frosty
Brandon
Viking.
Yates.
Hey, you're finally awake. Welcome to the Frosty Viking paradise of Skyrim. Visit the quaint Nordic villages. Hike up to the throat of the world. Marvel at the beauty of Blackreach. Hey, what's that in the sky? Why, it's Macho Man Randy Savage. No,
God damn it.
it's Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, that is a dragon. But not just any mere drake. This is Alduin, the World Eater. And he's come to burn everything to a cinder.
But fortunately for you, his path of destruction happened to interrupt your impending execution at the hands of those uppity Imperial pigs. That'll be the worst mistake this Staley monster would ever make.
It wouldn't be long before you escaped the destruction of Helgen and defeated a dragon yourself.
Then absorbed its frickin' soul.
That could only mean one thing. You are a being born with the blood and soul of a dragon in the body of a Nord, or elf, or Khajiit, or lizard dude destined to battle Alduin and save the world.
In their tongue, you are the Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
In
Hell
their
yeah.
quest to rid Tamriel of Alduin,
Also known as the Dovahkiin, is 6 feet tall. Male Nord in the promo material, blood and soul of a dragon, incarnation of the prisoner, blessed by Akatosh, and also blessed by Todd Howard.
Alduin's dragon army, the Dragonborn became a jack of all trades, master of all.
They learned to be a master assassin with the Dark Brotherhood, a master sorcerer with the College of Winterhold, a master thief with the Nightingales, a master dragon hunter with the Blades, and a master good boy. Who's a good boy? That's a good boy.
They even fought in the Skyrim Civil War.
Dragon Soul Absorption, Immortality, Weapon Mastery, Shouts, Spellcasting, Stealth, Smithing, and Alchemy.
On the side of the Imperial Legion, champions of order.
You mean the Nordic War for Independence on the side of the Stormcloaks?
Those elf-funded Nord supremacists?
Better than those jackbooted Cyrodiil fascists? But what else could I expect from a monster who steals from innocent villagers by sticking buckets over their heads?
They can put their skills to good use with an absolute glut of weaponry. Not just the usuals like daggers, swords, hammers, and axes, but also special weapons given to them by the Daedric princes.
They're basically crazy powerful gods from the plane of existence called Oblivion. From that rascally wabbit Sheogorath, the Dragonborn received the Wabba.
Daedric artifacts, amulets, scrolls, light and heavy armor, arrows and bolts, potions, poisons, and food.
Jack, a staff that casts a completely random spell on its target, from disintegrating them to healing them to turning him into a chicken.
From Meridia, they received the Dawnbreaker, a holy sword made for burning the undead to ash. That's similar to Oriel's bow, which can shoot fiery arrows that can blot out the sun. To cover the distance between the Earth and the Sun in about 2 seconds, the arrow would have to be moving at over 250 times the speed of light.
Except this isn't Earth and the Sun. This is the planet Nirn, and that's Magnus. According to the Elder Scrolls lore master Michael Kirkbride and his in-universe text cosmology, when you look up at the Sun, you're actually looking into a dimension.
The arrows are described as working by traveling to the sun, Magnus, and temporarily altering the magical connection between Nirn and the gods responsible for sunlight. The stars are the bridges to Aetherius, the magic plane. They are perceived as holes on the inside surface of space. The largest tear in Oblivion is Magnus, the sun.
Of pure magic. Confused yet? I am.
Exact measurements here are difficult to make, but if anything, the distance should be much greater.
Speaking of magic bullshit, the Dragonborn can heal themselves, cast wards and destructive elemental spells, control minds, conjure weapons, and summon lesser Daedra to help them out in a scrap.
They're an especially powerful mage because their mana recovers itself automatically over time. They'll never truly run out of firepower. But as a Dovahkiin, the ability they're most famous for is the Thum, or Shout. By speaking the words of the dragon language, they can manifest their will into reality.
Like with the classic Fus Roda, an unrelenting force which can knock your neighbors into next week, or Soul Tear, which removes the soul from your enemy's body and stores it in a cute gem, like so. Soul! Wait, why didn't anything? Oh.
Student loans, man. Something had to cover the down payment. With these shouts, the
Wow.
Dragonborn can summon country-spanning
Aura Whisper can become ethereal, a Bend Will, Dragon Aspect, Dragon Rend, Dragon Vitality, Marked for Death, and Whirlwind Sprint.
storms, slow down time, and even call upon a dragon for help. Odahviing. Dragons may look like scaly reptiles, but in reality, they're immortal demigods older than time itself. They're the children of the chief god of Tamriel's pantheon.
The Dragonborn is an unstoppable force of nature. If they happen to take any damage, they can just drink a potion or nosh on a cheese wheel and be good as new. And they
So
can
much
carry up
cheese.
to 150 cheeses at once. My dream.
Assuming these abnormally large cheese wheels have an average weight of 70 pounds, we can determine that the Dragonborn can carry up to 10,500 pounds of cheese.
And that makes sense, considering they can match muscles with giants, who are so strong they can shatter the game's spaghetti code to pieces.
The last Dragonborn has battled the
Has read one of the Elder Scrolls, aided or executed Ulfric Stormcloak, caught the serial killer Calexico, escaped Cadena Mine, cured Pelgeus the Mad, reunited Riku and Fenrig, pranked people with Sanguine, defeated Alduin, Ebony Warrior, Potama, and Marat.
Empire Lord Harkon, ended Skyrim's civil war, and defeated the first Dragonborn, Miraak.
And according to the book, The Guardian and the Traitor, Miraak was powerful enough to tear up.
While originally expected to be mythological, Miraak's existence was confirmed in the last Dragonborn DLC. The Ensai warriors also sank the island of Yokuda, making this consistent. Two fought a mighty battle that lasted for days, each hurling terrible arcane energies and thumb shouts at each other. So great and terrible were the forces unleashed in this contest that Solstheim was torn apart from the mainland of Skyrim. Damn.
Part the island of Solstheim from Skyrim's mainland.
By comparing the size of various countries on Tamriel's map, we can determine that Solstheim is a landmass nearly 1,500 miles in diameter. In order to move that much land over the course of their fight, Miraak's magical prowess must have output an energy over 300 teratons of TNT.
That's 3 times the impact of the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Damn.
Not too crazy when shouts can get strong enough to shake the world itself.
It wasn't long before the Dragonborn confronted Alduin in Nord Heaven and put an end to the World Eater once and for all.
The epithet is literal. By absorbing the souls in Skyrim's afterlife, Alduin was powerful enough to devour everything. Not just the planet of Nirn, but the Kalpa, the entire timeline past, present, and future.
That's the level of unimaginable power the Dragonborn is dealing with here.
Tamriel is no stranger to great heroes across its vast, sprawling history. The Nerevarine, the hero of Kvatch, all magnificent in their own right.
But when you heard that shout echo through the mountains and the death throes of a dragon defeated, you knew it could only be the
Dragonborn.
Dovahkiin. Hey, Wiz, did you know that I can blow up a cannon? Join full of egg battle before first part, but
Writing a book is hard. Knowing if it's good, even harder. Neat manuscript analysis.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
it's time for a death battle!
Go and stop this fool who would let the flame burn the age of humans to ashes. The Ancients of Dark will do anything to snuff out the light. Save us, chosen undead.
I think the Dragonborn's got this one. He's just gotta find a way to make sure he stays dead. Oh, got his ass. And stole his soul. Doesn't need his soul though. Come on, dude, you got this. Oh shit. Fight's going pretty crazy. Oh, that's that badass sword he was talking about. A human opponent is no problem for Dragonborn. Just gotta find a way to make sure this fucker stays dead. Just keep getting back up. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I like how the muted sound is cool.
Prepare to die.
Oh shit, you can talk?
Save this world, chosen warrior. Blink the fire!
Fuck your fire.
Let true dark be cast upon the world. Our Lord hath returned.
KO!
You die!
Oh my god, this boss is bullshit!
This debate was fascinating. The Dragonborn had a wider variety of training, better access to summons, and magic that passively regenerated, as opposed to the Chosen Undead's limited pool of magic.
Vow of Silence was a slick counter to the Dragonborn's magic and shouts, but it wouldn't last forever.
The Dragonborn was significantly faster, too. The Chosen Undead could dodge beams of light, sure, but Oriel's bow could fire arrows that move at least 250 times that.
But none of that mattered if the Chosen Undead couldn't...
Given that the arrow would need to pass through the infinite dimension of oblivion to reach Magnus, the actual speed of the arrow is arguably infinite as well.
Stay dead.
You'd think the Dragonborn's anti-undead weaponry like Dawnbreaker would be an easy solution, but the undead of Dark Souls aren't really the same as Draugr from Skyrim.
Skyrim undead are more like those classic reanimated skeletons. But remember the conspiracy. Humans in Dark Souls are naturally immortal. They're not actually undead.
Soul Tear wouldn't have been much use either, considering humans in Dark Souls can have their souls removed without dying.
So why didn't the Chosen Undead just keep coming back until they eventually won? Like with any Dark Souls boss.
One word, power. The Dragonborn had way more and greater feats of raw power than the Chosen Undead.
Oh yeah, like summoning country-spanning storms with a single shout, or
The Staff of Magnus is also capable of countering the power of the Eye of Magnus, which has the power to remake the entire world.
beating Mirak, who split a continent.
There's also the lore. Both characters are essentially mythological demigods in the same kind of vein as Hercules or Sun Wukong. Gameplay alone won't
we saw
give
how
you
that
the best
fight went.
idea of their full power as characters.
So let's get an idea of their max potential from the lore.
The Chosen Undead sustaining the First Flame with their soul was insanely impressive. Considering the First Flame is responsible for the core concepts of the universe, like energy and time, it's not a stretch to say it affects not just the planet they live on, but the whole universe.
But that's nothing compared to the power levels in the Elder Scrolls.
Let's compare the First Flame to Alduin. Both literally run on the power of souls, and both can be directly scaled to our combatants.
Alduin had strength to consume the universe, not just Nirn, but
And it will be this way, my little corner cutter, until you have destroyed all that in the world which you have stolen from earlier Kalpas, which is to say probably never at all.
the Kalpa as well.
You know those planets you see in the sky?
Not just
Directly scaled to our combatants.
Alduin had strength to consume the universe, not just Nirn, but the Kalpa as well.
You know those planets you see in the sky? According to cosmology, those are actually separate
Alduin claims to have waxed in power since ancient times and to be full of souls during his final battle with the Dragonborn, and Mirak claimed to be capable of casually defeating Alduin.
infinitely big planes of reality. Alduin was going to eat infinity.
Planets are the gods and the planes of the gods, which is the same thing. That they appear as spiritual heavenly bodies is a visual phenomena caused by the mortal mental stress. Since each plane, it is an infinite mass of infinite size, as yet surrounded by the void of oblivion. The mortal eye registers them as bubbles within a space.
Multiple infinities.
In comparison, the First Flame
The chosen undead had greater survivability and would resurrect upon death, but eventually would turn into a hollow, was too slow and weak to actually win the fight, and had a much more limited arsenal. The last Dragonborn, on the other hand, was far more powerful, much faster, capable of regenerating his mana, had a greater variety of attacks and arsenal, but he was only capable of dying once before the fight was over.
is powerful enough to sustain a universe and the flow of time, but it can't be infinite. Otherwise, it never would have faded to begin with.
And that meant the Chosen Undead just wasn't.
Undead that have been significantly hollowed out can lose their will to stand or even move, let alone fight, effectively being dead. This happens to Sigmire and Ashley.
Isn't powerful enough no matter how many times they revive. With that much of a difference in power, the Chosen Undead would eventually lose their will to fight and go hollow. It's not traditional, but it is a form of death in Dark Souls. The Chosen Undead was surely tenacity personified, but still wasn't enough to stand up to the Dragonborn's incredible skill, broken arsenal, and overwhelming power.
The Chosen Undead could only last so long before they flamed out.
The winner is the Dragonborn. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, we have a new death battle releasing every 2 weeks this year.
Alright. Our next fight is going to be Killua versus Misaka. I have not watched Hunter x Hunter or a certain magical index, so I don't know jack shit about either of these characters. I've seen a couple Hunter x Hunter clips though, and I've seen Killua in Jump Force, so I'm gonna go with him. I think Killua is gonna win this fight.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp and HelloFresh. Killua Zoldyck, Hunter x Hunter's prodigious lightning assassin.
Misaka Mikoto, Academy City's ace electric princess.
Question: what is more terrifying than the all-powerful crackling might of lightning?
Lightning
Lots,
in the hands
but
of
I get your
cocky,
point.
hyper-talented teenagers.
Shit.
The worst combination. He's Wiz and I'm
teenagers.
Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
A death battle.
The Zoldicks, a vicious family of assassins known the world over. So infamous for their killing techniques, a single photo of any member sells for millions.
You don't want to be the target of their next family outing. But like all families, there's bound to be a rebel.
As was the case with the middle child, Killua.
They seriously named him Kill? Hardcore.
Well, it might be a pun on the term kilowatt, but kill is apt, given he's been trained in past tense.
Full name, Killua Zoldyck, 14 years old, is 5'2" or 158 centimeters, 99.3 pounds or 45 kilograms, a former Zoldyck assassin, was taught by Lumi, Wing, and Biscuit, and likes Gon, Alqua, and Nanaka.
People since he was 3.
I'll say, at age 14, he was strong enough to open a 64-ton door. Jeez, what kind of workout did his family put him through? Somehow,
The awful
they gave him
kind.
6 skater skills, extendable claws, and rhythm echo, a technique that lets him fool people's senses with just his feet.
More accurately, by manipulating the
Super alloy yo-yos. I love people who fight with yo-yos. That shit is hilarious. This guy's fucking Michelangelo with lightning powers. Yo-yos, skateboard, proficient at hand-to-hand combat, resistant to poison and electricity, has a high pain tolerance. Bloodlust sensing, assassin arts, silent gates, claws, rhythm echo, the snake awakens, and assassin
cadence
mode.
of his footsteps, Killua can create an auditory illusion, capable of tricking even extrasensory abilities.
Killua was a heck of a prodigy, but despite being able to effortlessly rip out hearts, his family...
Rhythm echo could affect Nitaro and Sub, men users who normally can sense aura. Sub explicitly fell prey to the illusions, while Nitario only evaded Killua's attack due to the fact that he had superior speed and experience.
Family still thought he wasn't cold-blooded enough.
Fed up, he ran away. Not to the circus, but to the Hunter Association, an association of people who hunt stuff. There he tested...
Might as well be the circus, though. Come on. There are a variety of hunters with a variety of goals and vocations, ranging from blacklist, treasure, and ruin hunters to the more obscure music, sea, poison, and even cute hunters. What the fuck are cute hunters?
himself in the Hunter's exam and inevitably had gone head over heels for his new friend, Gon. Get it?
Oh god, Wiz, are you still taking those waste of time improv classes?
Yes, and I think it's going pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Killua's family didn't like him making friends, so they sat him down and then calmly and politely tortured him mercilessly as punishment. It was only thanks to Gon that Killua finally convinced his old man to let him go out on adventures with his buddies.
But this change of heart was no act of compassion. Killua's father saw his freedom as just another step in molding him into a better killer. And in some ways, he was right. Through his adventures, Killua learned Nen, an invisible life force that...
Yeah, it's key. It's always key.
Actually, this one's a bit more complicated. You see, Nen is utilized through 4 main principles. 10 for containing your aura while defending from physical and mental attacks. Zetsu for relieving fatigue and masking your presence. Ren for bolstering strength and influencing emotions.
That's pretty standard so far.
And Hatsu, the unique way in which one's Nen is expressed.
This is the fake ad you see everywhere, right?
So basically jutsus or
now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't
key
they
attacks?
exactly the same? No, because Ebony is the real number gate runner game. You gotta try it.
Dude, I don't
Nobody
care
ever
about your
believes me, but
fake
this
ass
real-
game.
This comes in many forms, but all fall into one of 6 types, which...
Alright, damn it, hold on. I want to see what the 6
This
types
comes
are.
in many forms, but all fall into one of 6 types.
Enhancer strengthens and reinforces natural abilities. Emitters shoots out or projects an aura. Manipulator controls objects or living things. Specialist, unique distinctive aura. In some cases, a person can become a specialist later in life. Conjurer materializes an object out of aura. Transmitter changes the quality of aura. Okay.
Which represent how proficient a Nen user is at certain techniques.
So it's an RPG class system?
More like a
Kinda.
hybrid class system, because most users actually fall somewhere between 2 categories, giving them differing degrees of proficiency. Techniques from these Nen categories can even be further enhanced by adding rules to their use. Oh, then there are the advanced principles, which...
Oh god, okay, I get it.
But we haven't even talked about Killua's Hatsu yet. Killua is a transmuter enhancer, i.e. he specializes in transmuting his aura into different forms and enhancing the power of himself and others. He uses his aura to...
He makes lightning!
Yeah.
Yes, in Killua's hand...
Transmuter enhancer. Hatsu electric aura. Lightning palm, thunderbolt, godspeed, whirlwind, and speed of lightning.
And lightning becomes...
Aura is invisible to normal humans. Transmitter abilities like Hisaka's bungee gum, which possesses the properties of both rubber and gum, remain invisible as well. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Thus, Killua's electricity would be the same. Okay, so it's invisible electricity. So whoever he's fighting shouldn't be able to see it then.
weapon that he can fire down as a bolt, channel through his arms, or send through metal objects.
Like his super alloy yo-yos. These bad boys weigh up to 50 kilograms. See, that's how you
That's
make
pretty
a fun
crazy.
Wiz. Packing enough force to shatter trees like I just shattered Wiz's confidence.
Add in Killua's lightning, and he can electrify anyone who touches them.
And this isn't some magicy schmagicy lightning. His bolts have been identified as the real deal more than once.
Meaning, Killua is certainly as fast as actual lightning, especially when he uses it on himself to bust out Godspeed, a form that greatly amplifies his agility and power, letting him bypass his synapses to reflexively react to threats.
For regular folk, that much voltage would be too much. But thanks to Killua's training, he...
Killua stated that this is more of a tolerance than outright resistance or immunity. He still feels great pain, but the amount of voltage would still imply a natural resistance to at least some degree.
He can shrug off over 1,000,000 volts of electricity.
He's also exceptionally crafty. In a Nen fight, every move matters, and strategy almost always triumphs, even against greater strength.
Killua used these powers to battle...
Rescued Alkua from their family, reached the 200th floor of Heaven's Arena, endured Gon's Genken Rock, caught a conjured dart instantly, moves at the speed of lightning, ripped Illumi's needle out of his brain, tanked Carabid Beetle's explosion, defeated Sub Raymont, Ryvelt, Ortho siblings, and Illumi.
World-renowned thieves, bomber mercenaries, and ants.
That may not sound like much, but these Chimera
Oh, yeah,
ants
the
were
Chimera ants.
brutal,
They were
murdering
fucked.
and eating people by the hundreds of thousands, then threatening billions. That reminds me of an old experiment. Gone horribly wrong.
Killua understandably wanted to bail, but Gon pulled him back in, much to his frustration.
Killua wanted to be there for Gon emotionally, but could not comprehend why he was risking so much against the Chimera ants, going as far as becoming a monster.
In other words, Killua was crushing really hard, but didn't know what to do about Gon's simple-minded impulsiveness. It didn't end well for anyone.
Oh, damn.
It wasn't all doom and gloom, though. Killua held his own against some of the Chimera ants' best, surviving this forest-consuming blast from one of their captains.
Which, judging by its size, was worth several kilotons.
And he later injured a top-ranking royal guard, Yuppie.
Sure, he ran for the hills the moment Godspeed wore off, and isn't as strong as the weird horse man. But even just damaging someone who can make a crater like this is nothing to sniff at.
But amidst
Fair enough.
all the fighting, Killua still could not get his family out of his mind. Literally.
As in, his brother, Illumi, put a needle in his head, forcing him to be controlled by self-preservation, ensuring he'd always run when victory isn't guaranteed. Wiz, you think you can call CPS for that?
Thankfully,
Yes.
after some much-needed self-surgery and self-reflection, Killua removed it, overcoming his mental barrier and ready to risk his life for those he cherishes.
Which he did when he finally got himself and his dear sister Aluka away from their demented family. He
Nice.
even brought Gon back from the brink of his creepy Nen coma.
But despite how valuable Gon was as a friend, Killua realized his unhealthy dependence on him.
So he decided to travel with and protect Aluka, finally realizing what he wants to do for the rest of his life. Oh god, the tearful romantic parting!
Still, if Gon or Aluka ever need help, Killua is sure to come running.
Ready to Killua anyone dumb enough to mess with him or those he cares about.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. I'm even in and out studying this in my with no addition. Get tashed a sprawling metropolis filled Academy City. A sprawling
Really,
metropolis
Academy
filled
City?
with schools where espers train to master their supernatural abilities.
Most of these youngins dream of rivaling the best espers, but only a few are hardworking and smart enough to do it.
Among them being Tokiwadai Middle School's Level 5 Electro Master, Misaka Mikoto.
Level 5? So she's a Pokemon, but an anime girl.
Each esper's power and utility is...
Alrighty, 14 years old, 5'3", Academy City's third-ranked level 5 Esper, so there's 2 above her. Alrighty. Also known as Railgun, the Electric Princess, and Biribiri. Attends Tokiwadai Middle School, likes Tikoto Violin, Toma, and dislikes Accelerator Masaki. I thought that was herself for a second. And vending machines.
Ranked, with level 5 being the highest they can normally achieve.
And after working up to that level, Misaka became unstoppable. She can magnetize herself to metal, electrically enhance her physique, sense her surroundings through an electromagnetic radar, and generate billions of volts.
In addition, she can make iron sand from disparate particles in the air to form tornadoes, body decoys, or a sword that vibrates at rapid speeds for enhanced cutting power.
Just what an anime girl needs, a chainsaw. Man, if she gets serious,
Really? That was lame. Come on, Boomstick. Railgun, Electro Master, Electromagnetism, Weather Manipulation, Defensive Barriers, Light Manipulation, Electromagnetic Sensing, Technopathy, Bioelectricity Manipulation, Electricity Resistance, Iron Sand, Blades and Tendrils, Drills, Spikes, Needles, Body Decoys, and Lightning Giant Mode.
Misaka can even make a friggin' 6 million ton kaiju out of it.
With such tremendous power, Misaka put an end to many crimes, earning fear among criminals, admiration among her peers, and lots.
Though Misaka's Iron Sand has no set density, her kaiju was explicitly equally massive to the golem made of reinforced concrete that she was fighting. Its size was determined by comparing it to surrounding buildings.
Of personal pride in her abilities. There was nothing she couldn't overcome.
Nothing except the bane of all tsunderes, a frizzy-haired, dumbass anime protagonist.
God
Enter
damn it.
Kamijo Toma, a level 0 nobody who Misaka could not harm, no matter how many times she tried.
Oh, I hate you, but I secretly love you, and it'll work out in the end. Shut up! But she'd have more than a dork like Toma to worry about. As amazing as Academy City is, it's more corrupt than New York real estate. Years ago, Misaka gave some shady scientists a sample of her DNA, being promised it'd help cure tons of fatal diseases.
Instead, they made tens of thousands of clones of
Bro,
her, sending
what?
them all to be slaughtered one by one.
Specifically against another level 5 and A-tier edgelord named Accelerator. By farming all these clones, they hoped he would finally get enough EXP to become a mythic level 6. Is that seriously all it takes? How does this Esper stuff work?
Glad you asked. Espers represent the scientific side of the world.
God damn it.
I'm so familiar with.
You just had to
All
ask.
Espers possess an involuntary movement or AIM diffusion field that manifests their power, letting them consciously alter reality.
Changing reality with your mind. Isn't that just magic?
Au contraire, Boomstick, it's quite scientific. Look at Misaka's signature move, the Railgun. Many real-life railguns use a set of parallel conductors to generate Lorentz force. By envisioning imaginary rails between herself and her target, Misaka can create a similar yet greater effect, accelerating the speed and kinetic force of a projectile, usually a coin, into a concussive bullet. It's beautiful. It's science.
How long are you gonna be nerding out over this?
Come on, this is like my one thing.
That's
My
fair.
wife stopped trusting me because I never do the things I say I'll do. She just does everything herself now. I finally...
Skip.
Where was I? Oh yeah, thousands of dead clones. Traumatized by the endless slaughter, Misaka felt enormous.
Some statements claim the railgun fires at Mach 3, but this is inconsistent with its power output. It also outsped a Mach 20 missile, and was described as superliminal, so its likely varies in speed due to air resistance and Mikasa's restraint.
Enormous guilt. You see it all the time with horrific experiments.
Sure, buddy.
She worked for days to end the clone project, but concluded it would have to end with her sacrifice.
But Toma butted in, giving Misaka the support she needed in her darkest hour, while
Oh,
also
boo-hoo.
punching out albino Magneto with his Esper-proof fist.
Misaka had shouldered her burden for so long that she forgot how to rely on others. This wake-up call from her newfound crush was exactly what she needed.
But even with Accelerator decelerated, Misaka kept fighting Academy City's underbelly, all to protect her friends and free her sister clones she befriended. She dealt with a lot of
Misaka's level 6 transformations require the Misaka network, which has done against her will. She cannot assume these forms on her own, and a full transformation would kill her. So she won't be using them during the fight, is what they're saying, because she can't do it herself.
trouble on the way, but
Those
had
are
the
the
power
rules.
to do it.
In her battle with a killer cyborg lady, Misaka conjured a city-spanning storm, which, by measuring the size of the cloud relative to the city, would require over 58 kilotons of energy to make.
Kilowatts. She's also fought other level 5s, not just Accelerator.
Spontaneously invented the railgun, reacted to particle beams, condensed 52 million tons of water, launched 1,288 tons of steel at Mach 473, soloed 200 troops, comparable to Accelerator in speed, stalemated Brunhild Ectobel, and has defeated Kayama, Frenda, Mugino, Doppelganger, and Kimi.
She got into a middle school beef with a snobby telepath, fought this explosive weirdo, and dodged particle beams from an unhinged Karen.
The electrons of which can accelerate to high relativistic.
Accelerated electrons are normally either a wave or a particle, but Mugino's ability forces them into an in-between state, maintaining both the relativistic speeds of a wave, but the convective force of a particle.
Speeds.
It's no shock. Misaka's reactions are that fast, given her lightning has been stated to be light speed on 5 different occasions.
More than just her powers, though, Misaka's greatest asset is her intellect.
It might not look it, but high-level espers constantly perform tons of nerd math just to make their powers work.
And understanding other
Makes
powers
sense.
has been just as vital to Misaka's survival. Take her bout with the magic Valkyrie, Brunhild.
Remember when Wiz said espers were the science side of the world? Well, these weirdos are packing the magic. A single mistake from Misaka could have meant death, but she still stalemated Brunhild.
Now,
Though Brunhild's power varies, it was stated she was unhindered against Mikasa. And while Misaka was physically weaker, her abilities allowed her to remain competitive for an extended, indecisive bout.
Brunhild was still stronger and faster, but it is impressive Misaka was able to harm a saint, who are normally only deployed against foes capable of leveling mountains. One such foe, Hell, froze 100 kilometers of ocean.
You'd think this means Misaka can take on all sorts of magical baddies. But alas, the power creep says otherwise.
He's actually serious. When you're dealing with crazy magicians and magic gods, even a level 5 Esper.
During the New Testament and Genesis Testament light novels, Misaka used a mech suit called the Anti-Art Attachment. However, it is fairly divorced from her normal power set and currently destroyed. Therefore, she won't be using that either.
Struggles to keep up. Misaka valued her abilities so highly that she struggled to maintain her self-esteem when they weren't enough.
A shame Misaka cares so much about getting stronger when Toma appreciates her as a person first and foremost.
While certainly a flaw, that ever-persistent hard-headedness will also keep Misaka around, no matter the stakes.
So watch out, because this pint-sized 14-year-old is quite literally a walking railgun.
This episode is sponsored by Hello and Travel. No
Death Battle!
Alright, let's see who's faster.
Hey, that's mine.
That's what's gonna
I've
come
been
down
looking for
to.
it all day. Give it here. You want it? Come and get it.
Bro, you didn't know anything about this guy and you were just ready to kill him over a fucking coin?
Coins, huh? I had a butler who used these.
So trippy.
Focus. It's a trick of sound, not sight. Gotcha.
Not bad. Definitely gotta keep him on her toes.
My distance. She has stronger lightning. Gotta get in close. No problem.
Alright, I don't know anything about Hunter x Hunter, but I like this character. The whole skateboarding, the yo-yos, I like that. It's awesome. And he's a speedster. Always my favorite kind of character.
No time
Oh. Damn. Oh shit.
Now's my chance.
Come on, Killua. There you go.
You don't know when to quit.
Godspeed. Or not yet. That was great. Oh, what the fuck?
Catch this.
Dodge, dodge, dodge! There you go, there's Godspeed.
She's keeping this thing together with electromagnetism, meaning it can be disrupted.
You the fuck now, lady. Yeah! Another heart for the collection. Oh no. Oh no, she got him.
Distance, 35 meters. Altitude, 45, 40, now.
Oh, she got him. Damn.
The angle, the electromagnetism, the science. It's...
Yeah, we get it. You're
Take
a
a breather there,
nervous.
champ.
Whew. While Killua's assassin training made him a vicious threat, Misaka's abilities and know-how gave her the counter she needed in this mind-numbing battle of wits.
Killua could survive kilowatt-ton level blasts, and given some leeway, could scale to Yuppie, whose crater feat was worth 18 megatons of TNT.
Impressive, but the
Morale, to whom Killua scales, was able to block UP's explosion while only at 35% of their power. Even upscaling the result to 51 megatons based on this percentage, Misaka is still more powerful.
storm Misaka created beat anything Killua has done directly, and given similar scaling to Brunhild, who Misaka not only harmed but stalemated, her output could reach hundreds of megatons of TNT. Meaning, no matter which numbers are used,
Machi, to whom Killua also scales, can spin Nen threads long enough to circle the entire globe. 680 meters for, I don't know, 680 million meters, I guess, for Hunter x Hunter's larger planet, stated in Chapter 78. Assuming a 3-hour time frame, this would require 400 kilotons of TNT.
Misaka would always have the advantage in raw electrical power.
No surprise there. Killua may have shrugged off 1,000,000 volts of...
Misaka's electricity can shut down internal organs, allowing her to end the fight immediately. Likewise, Killua's electricity resistance primarily relates to the pain tolerance and not targeted organ failure.
electricity, but Misaka can dish out and survive billions.
Still, both characters have contended with and harmed stronger opponents, and the two power systems they work under have allowed weaker opponents to defeat stronger ones in the past.
So, might alone wouldn't net either a win. Plus, Killua was way better at hand-to-hand and physically stronger.
Knowing his crafty assassin skills, things could have gone south for Misaka if she wasn't careful.
But fortunately for the railgun, She was. Her fight with Brunhild shows she knows how to deal with tough, up-close threats while keeping her distance.
And being able to dodge particle beams meant Misaka was more than...
Both Hunter x Hunter and Index have statements suggesting most characters cannot surpass the speed of sound. However, these are repeatedly contradicted by various other feats and statements.
fast enough to react to even Killua's lightning-quick speed.
Add to that her bigger pool of powers, and she had plenty of ways to counter Rhythm Echo, since Killua's lightning, or just pin him in place long enough to pull off a railgun.
Alrighty, Killua was physically stronger, better at close range, but was too slow to close the gap, couldn't survive her full power, and had a straightforward arsenal. Misaka, on the other hand, had more powerful electricity, had faster reaction times and speed, was better at long-range fighting, and had more versatile abilities and counters. But she was definitely not capable of competing with him in hand-to-hand combat.
Finisher. Killua was strong, but he wasn't gonna outmuscle 6 million tons of iron sand.
Killua was a prodigy in all things Nen, lightning, and killing, but Misaka's varied electro powers, quick reflexes, and scientific brilliance let her cash in a win.
But hey, at least she let Killua keep the change. She Killua'd him!
The winner is Misaka Mikoto.
Alrighty. Now we've got Stitch versus Rocket Raccoon. I'm gonna go with Stitch. Like, I feel like he's taken less damage in his fights than Rocket does. You know what I mean? I think Stitch is gonna win this. Rocket was killed by some predators and Craven in one comic book. So I think Stitch is probably gonna kill him. Better Help and Death Battle.
Stitch, Disney's Extraordinary Experiment 626.
Should be a good fight, though.
Marvel's murderous mercenary Mustelid. Those are like weasels and ferrets and raccoons. You know, because
Gotcha.
Just because you're cute and fluffy doesn't mean you aren't the deadliest thing in the universe.
He's with
Fair.
my boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a
death battle.
In the distant reaches of outer space, the mad scientist Jumba Jukiba was accused of illegal genetic experimentation.
He took the galaxy's most fearsome, most dangerous, most absolutely purely black-hearted evil creatures and smushed them all together.
A great man with a vision, persecuted by spineless know-nothing bureaucrats.
The result? Experiment 626, though you can just call him Stitch.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna be sick.
Dude, you can't say that.
After being
Jesus,
slated for
Stitch, like what the fuck? Alrighty, also known as Experiment 626, height 3 feet or 91.44 centimeters, is 18 years old. Really? I didn't know that. I thought he was like a kid or something. Made of the galaxy's fiercest creatures, knows molecular physics, is a former captain of the Galactic Armada, has crossed over with Kim Possible, Jake Long, the Proud Family, and Recess. Damn, really? Kim Possible and Jake Long? That's cool. The American Dragon, yo. Speaking of Jake Long, go check out Danny Phantom versus Jake Long. That's a pretty good one. Likes coconut cake and coffee. I don't think you should be giving this guy coffee.
Stitch escapes to a distant planet, Earth. Oh wait, Earth.
Crash landing in the Hawaiian island of Kauai of all places. There he'd been adopted by the Earth girl Lilo and went incognito as the ugliest dog ever.
And despite his
Rude.
horrific upbringing, Stitch found he had a softer side, a love of Elvis, and a kinship with Lilo, a devil child who didn't fit in, just like him. It wasn't long before Stitch was ready to do anything to protect his new Ohana from the alien threats coming to get him.
And let me tell you, as a fellow...
That's because Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind.
Mad scientist, Jumba really outdid himself here. I've been meaning to dig deeper into Stitch's piecemeal alien biology for years. First of all, his fluffy exterior is entirely bulletproof, fireproof, and nearly impenetrable.
Oh, this comes with a catch. His molecular structure is so dense, he can't swim. Sucks he landed in Hawaii of all places.
Stitch can crawl on walls, hear
Supervision, night vision, X-ray vision, infrared vision, and zooming. Bulletproof, fireproof, supercomputer brain, wall crawling, super hearing, super spit, sonic scream, alien form, and power cell.
a whisper from miles away and scream so loud he'll blow you to kingdom come.
He's strong enough to lift 3,000 times his own body weight and can spin dash so fast he'll burst into flames.
His eyesight is also incredible. He's got night, X-ray, and infrared vision and can even zoom in hundreds of times over.
Even better, he can hop loogies like a friggin' machine gun. His spit is conductive enough to short-circuit electronics, stick objects together like glue, and even dissolve solid rock.
Oh,
and
shit.
he's somehow a genius, too. The dude knows molecular physics and can build entire mech suits and spaceships out of junk in seconds.
You wouldn't think it from his everything, but Stitch is a genius with a brain comparable to a supercomputer. The world's most powerful supercomputer right now is Hewlett-Packard's Frontier, which can make 1 quintillion calculations a second.
Comparing Stitch to Frontier is frankly a massive lowball.
See, Stitch was programmed to have Jumba's own intelligence.
Jumba has stated his intelligence is larger than some galaxy is in the season 2 episode of the Lilo and Stitch TV series. Spike Experiment 319.
Intelligence, and Jumba's IQ has been compared to that of an entire galaxy combined.
I have conducted my own genetic analysis to determine Stitch's alien progenitors. His DNA includes traces of the manglioid of Meridian 4, the goo goblin booger beast, the people-eating pus monkey, the deadly disemboweler, the boiling tongue-oid, and the bottom-feeding scum sucker.
It sounds like your ex-wife. Am I right?
Oh.
What the hell? That's such a messed up thing
Yeah,
to say about her. Be better.
I'm so disappointed
Jeez, dude.
in you.
Only he's allowed to make jokes like that.
You start paying the alimony.
Well, Stitch's incredible buffet of alien DNA is supported by a power cell embedded in his body, fueled by the energy of 2 colliding planets. Huh? Colliding planets!
He's gone.
Are you coming back? No?
You.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
He's got a jetpack, freeze ray.
Damn. Plasma blaster with plasma bullets, glue bullets, laser bullets, rocket bullets, net bullets, grapple bullets, and anti-heat foam. Jetpack, freeze ray, grenades, seismotron 200, laser shield, and an underwater suit. Since, you know, he can't swim.
Grenades and a seismotronic 200, which can make sandwiches gigantic.
Oh, shit.
Drink enemies, that's cool too.
Stitch was a one-fluff army, and he proved it when everyone from the Galactic Federation to the dastardly Dr. Hamsterville came to pick a fight with him.
Including all of Jumba's experiments. Yeah, 626 isn't just some random number. There
Yeah,
are
no.
hundreds of these little bastards running around. More trouble-making cousins to add to his growing Ohio.
If I remember right, there are 627 other ones, because there's 2 after him, and then the 625 that came before him.
Though he had to pacify many of them first, like Slushy, who can create a snowstorm that covered all of Kauai.
Or Richter, who can split the Earth in half and shatter planet-busting asteroids.
And Jumba stated that Stitch was the most destructive, unstoppable...
Jumba has stated multiple times that Stitch is the strongest and greatest experiment. This not only includes Holio, but experiment 607, which Jumba states could destroy the universe by collapsing into itself. Lilo and Stitch TV series episode Rufus.
Unstoppable monster the universe has ever seen. Even more dangerous than Holio, who can create a black hole large enough to consume the entire universe.
Speaking of black holes, in the anime, yes, there's a Lilo and...
Of course there is. The anime is a spin-off and a continuation of the original series and was officially dubbed for the Disney Channel. Wow, really?
Stitch anime, Stitch once piloted a ship carrying
She
a super
lived with a different family? Like, what the fuck?
to wipe out a galaxy and flew it into a black hole. It and the black hole.
The strongest of Jumba's Chukaba's experiments helped to find a home for 624 other experiments. 1 million-degree black belt, built a mech suit in 5 seconds, threw a giant laser into space, survived being inside 2 black holes, saved the universe numerous times, and has defeated Gantu, Hamsterville, Leroy, Dyla, Dark End, and most of his cousins.
Both exploded on top of him, and he popped out no worse for the wear. You know, like you do.
Another time, he piloted a ship to a different black hole in less than 2 minutes. It's unclear exactly how far this was, but the average distance between stars is about 5 light years.
That means his ship would have had to have been flying at over 1 million times the speed of light.
And when he's filled with love for his Ohana, the power cell inside Stitch surges incalculably. He used this to defeat Dark End, an experiment explicitly made to be stronger than Stitch, who had just defeated 4 Stitch clones on his own.
And Stitch completely annihilated him. He knocked Dark End into outer space so hard he dislodged a city-sized space station. You know, like you do.
He's even managed to worm his way into completely different Disney properties.
Oh, God,
Pretty sure Stitch has got this one.
On our hands, do we?
With Stitch around, Lilo, Nani, and the inhabitants of Earth couldn't be safer.
Surf's up for everyone's favorite blue fuzzball of death.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yeah, I don't care. Good for you guys for, talking about that stuff, but I'm just here for the
In
video.
the Black Mountain Hills of Dakota, there was a young boy named Rocket Racoon.
Rocket Raccoon. Rocket, not Rocky. That's the Beatles song he's named after.
Well,
Yeah.
I have wasted a lot of time on some very specific research.
In fact,
Eh,
it's just
I do that all the time.
Despite his startling resemblance to the resourcely dumpster diving mammal, Rocket originates
He's
from the
actually
alien
not
planet-
a raccoon, yeah. Like, he's not a raccoon, guys. He's called Rocket Raccoon, but there's a reason he always, asks what's a raccoon and shit. He doesn't, it's not a thing on alien worlds. It just happens to look like one. I read a book the other day. Spider-Man found a medallion. Just thought it was a dolphin medallion because it has a dolphin on it. That's the dolphin. To everyone else, it's something completely different. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it because it's got a weird fucking name. But everybody was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" The whole book. Anyways, he's also known as Ranger Rocket or Subject 8821-3. Height approximately 4 feet or 122 centimeters, so he's a little taller than Stitch. Weighs approximately 100 pounds or 45.4 kilograms. Is a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Species is half-worlder and half-worlder and half-mutate, and not a raccoon. Likes Groot, stealing body parts, and McDonald's, of course. Dislikes Earth, Spider-Man, guitar, porn. Okay, what the fuck? What does he have again? That is a weird list of dislikes, man. Has dated many alien girls who now want to kill him. Oh, so he's like Peter. It's like Peter Quill.
Half-World, which served as an asylum for the criminally insane ruled over by alien humanoids.
Along with many of Half-World's cutesy inhabitants, Rocket was subjected to cybergenetic modifications by his overlords.
All with the purpose of being Half-World's warden, Ranger Rocket.
Rocket's mutations make him smarter, stronger, faster, and tougher than your average garbage goblin.
His cybernetic skeleton is connected to artificial vertebrae and neural implants, allowing him to dodge gunfire and laser beams, survive and
Rocket's superhuman enhancements should put him beyond peak-level humans, such as Daredevil and Cyclops, who can both react within nanoseconds.
an explosion the size of a city block, and keep up with supervillains like Kraven and Venom.
Alongside pals Lila the Otter and Walrus the... Yeah, Rocket
Walrus the Walrus.
and killer clowns and saved the day time and time again. I bet you're wondering what the hell this has to do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
In a
We get there.
convoluted editorial effort to reboot his character, Rocket left Half-World to become a mercenary and had his memories suppressed. After a betrayal by his otter lover, a different one, he has a thing for otters, Rocket was sent to jail. Space jail.
And prison
Space
changes a
jail.
man. Gunn was the Saturday morning cartoon character of yore. He was a felon, cynical and hardened by the criminal justice system. The space criminal justice system.
Rocket suffered
The
not only
space
from
criminal
his penal
justice
servitude, but the
system.
trauma of his brutal genetic modifications and a lingering sense of alienation. It was in this personal hell where he'd meet a bunch of a-holes who would soon be his new teammates. Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, and of course, his best pal Groot.
And
Yeah.
together they were the Guardians of
Of the Galaxy.
defending the free peoples of the cosmos from all manner of alien menace. For a price, of course. Though unlike some of the powerhouses on his team, Rocket's raccoon body is...
I told you he's not a raccoon. He was created on Half-World and is the
Looks
last
like
of
a
the
raccoon,
entire
walks
race
like
of
a raccoon.
raccoon-like
Might as well be a
aliens.
raccoon.
He just happens to look like an Earth raccoon.
Don't lecture me on raccoons, Wiz. I'm an expert. Been fighting the bastards for years. Did you know their tiny little bandit masks are for reducing glare to enhance night vision? They can
I
hear
did know that.
noises as quiet as earthworms digging underground. And about 2/3 of the sensory perception part of their cerebral cortex is devoted to their tactile impulses. That's why they grab shit with their tiny little hands.
All perfectly suited
Okay.
to a nimble, stealthy glass cannon like Rocket.
Yeah, 'cause he's a raccoon.
As I was saying, Rocket became the team.
Not a raccoon. Enhanced physicality and senses, enhanced intellect, sharp teeth and claws, skills, tactics, demolitions, marksmanship, engineering and mechanics, hacking, programming, infiltration and theft, martial arts, acrobatics, and medicine.
Team's resident grease monkey, specializing in all things technology and engineering. And fittingly, his specialty in combat is firearms.
Yep, that sounds like my cue, Wiz. Rocket's
Yeah.
built giant mechs, cobbled together random junk for an improvised...
In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 2023, the MCU Rocket's species and origins are handled differently than in the comics. Our analysis is focusing primarily on the original source material. Oh, that's good, because I know more about comic version than that. I haven't seen the third Guardians of the Galaxy.
flamethrower and casually slapped together a bomb strong enough to destroy a moon. Oh, and he's got every kind of hand cannon imaginable. Pistols, machine guns, miniguns, rifles, rocket launchers, plasma guns, laser guns, and my favorite, the melon popper, where melon means head and pop means kabam.
That melon belonged to a Super Skrull, one of the deadliest warriors in the Marvel Universe. With the combined abilities of the Fantastic Four, including the Thing, who survived a blast from the power cosmic that could split a planet in two.
Yeah, Rocket's weapons are crazy, like the Rampart arm phasing.
Various firearms have immense power: pistols, shotguns, rifles, miniguns, laser and plasma guns, rocket and grenade launchers, rampart arms, phasic cannon, flamethrower, electricity guns, sonic guns, vehicles, rack and ruin, jetpack, transforming motorcycle, and a Gundam suit, bombs, swords and knives, rocket-propelled hammer, energy barrier projector, Azilzian acid capsules, timely incorporated shipment processing and analysis device, PIM particle canister, antimatter charges, orbital weapon stash, and basically anything he can get his adorable little hands on.
Cannon, which utilizes cold fusion and could melt the face off the Mad Titan himself, Thanos.
The same Thanos who is strong enough to survive a supermassive black hole 4 light years across, and came out with only light scratches.
The very same Purple Shrek who's battled universe.
Though Thanos was weakened, he could still survive a blast from the Cosmic Cube and overpower Drax. Rocket states that Thanos' full strength is necessary to withstand the weapon, implying that anything less would be insufficient.
Busters and beyond, like Thor, Hulk, and Odin. If Thanos can walk through attacks from a dude who can shake the multiverse and Rocket's guns can hurt him, I'm gonna need one of those puppies under my pillow ASAP.
And similar weaponry to what Rockets use can operate down to the picosecond, which is 1/trillionth of a second.
He can access all of these goodies at any time from his orbital stash, a remote-controlled satellite that'll deliver.
Even outside of the phasic cannon, Rocket has consistent access to weapons that can harm high-tier Marvel characters such as Hulk, Drax, Groot, Maximilian the Accuser, Angela, and others.
Anything he wants, lickety-split.
Rocket can zoom through the sky on his rocket skate.
He once blew up a moon, one-shot one of the progenitors, threatened to kill Thanos multiple times, regularly destroys Groot's body, blew off Super Skrull's head, fought an entire planet's population, harmed Gardner, an Elder of the Universe, outsmarted the Star Thief and Kraven the Hunter, and has defeated Blackjack O'Hare. Really? Blackjack O'Hare? Like Bucky O'Hare? Like from the fucking Fox McCloud fight? I'll link that. Amalia, and Maximilian, and Dormammu.
Project
Really?
force fields, teleport with a portable AI, melt through solid metal with acid, and even hack foreign technology.
Anything from a prison to a planet to an entire galactic empire. Rocket's the most dangerous not raccoon who's totally a raccoon in the whole universe.
And he's proven it with the Guardians. He's saved Earth at least 11 times, cured Ego the Living Planet of a lice infestation, and held his own against an entire world trying to kill him all at once.
He even devised a plan that ultimately stopped Dormammu, the Lord of the friggin' Dark Dimension. No wonder Star-Lord called Rocket the greatest tactical mind he's ever met, even if sometimes he has a tendency to run in guns blazing.
Though he'd always be a wisecracking son of a bitch, his time with the Guardians softened his edges. He learned to enjoy life again, and even made it back to Half-World to send that bastard Blackjack O'Hare packing.
And even though he clearly is one, whatever you do, don't call him a raccoon, because there's nowhere in the galaxy to hide from this gun-toting mother flarker.
This professional 32 TW SSD, capable of holding the entire collection of the New York Public Library,
wants me to buy
is something
this.
you won't find at Best Buy or any electronics retailer, even if you were willing to drop.
This episode of Death Battle Escape a premium lead
Going on to you,
nation
contact
buxom battle. Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Space Hawaii. I knew it. Every time.
You smashed my ship, Flark Face!
I like the song.
What did you say about my mother?
Oh shit. Fucking shit. Gross.
You disgust me.
Get him, Stitch. Where'd he go? Oh. 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 The fuck? Is that a nuke? What the fuck? Dude, you can't say stuff like that. We've been over this, Stitch. Jesus Christ. Oh, Super Stitch.
Come to Papa.
I don't know what that is. Sounds like it's gonna work. Oh, okay.
Hunting season now, Buzzball.
Oh, shit. Come on, Stitch. Don't give up yet. Hell yeah. Get up.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, got his ass. And ice cream's gonna fall again. Oh, I didn't. Oh. Why'd you kill the ice cream guy? What the fuck was that about?
Double KO! You know, brutally murdering Ice Cream Guy wasn't necessary, Wiz, but I felt it was an artful touch.
Though similar in
Bro.
many ways, Stitch and Rocket's fighting styles were polar opposites.
Stitch was more than strong enough to tear.
The MCU rocket survived 1/4 of the Power Stone's energy, which is over 4 Yoda tons of TNT. 616 rocket has never shown such durability, and even so it wouldn't be enough to withstand Stitch's attacks regardless.
Rocket apart physically, while Rocket's guns were powerful enough to kill people even stronger than Stitch. So the question was simple: if both of them only needed one hit to win, who would get the killing blow first?
It all came down to speed. Rocket has dodged lasers, and his guns could operate down to the peak.
Given the distance involved in the picosecond feat, Rocket's weaponry could be in the ballpark of 2,666 times faster than the speed of light.
Picosecond, 1/1,000,000th of a second.
But Stitch's supercomputer brain could operate down to the quintillionth of a second, 1,000,000 times faster, at minimum.
Damn.
And his ability to pilot that ship at over 1,000,000.
Stitch was stronger, faster, and more durable. He had more experience adapting to his foes, no exploitable weaknesses, and was likely smarter, though he wasn't able to withstand Rocket's weaponry. Rocket, on the other hand, had greater firepower and a larger and more versatile arsenal than Stitch, but he was just physically outmatched, more reliant on his equipment, and a lot more reckless.
Times the speed of light meant that he more than had the reaction speed to dodge anything Rocket threw at him.
Rocket's tactical brilliance meant he could keep Stitch at bay with tricks for a while, but he couldn't reliably seal the deal. Despite
Fair
being
enough.
a little blue goblin, Stitch usually stays level-headed in a fight, whereas
Yeah.
Rocket can be way more
Yeah, no.
Frankly, Stitch is probably even smarter, considering he has the combined IQ of an entire galaxy.
One slip up from Rocket is all Stitch would need to end the fight.
Rocket's arsenal was absolutely bonkers, to be sure, but Stitch's superior
sure.
speed, physical strength, and unbelievable intelligence gave him the win.
Looks like this Rocket's blasting off again!
The winner is... What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, what the fuck?
Here too! Where's he gonna leave the turkey behind?
The winner is Stitch.
What the shit, man? What
Thanks
happened?
for watching. Stay
Alright, for our final fight this episode, for episode 35, we've got a great one, guys. We've got Gogeta versus Vegito. Lots of people, probably asked for this fight until they finally did it, This one should be a good one. And since the characters are so similar, I'm not sure how they'll end up justifying who wins what, but I'm gonna go with Gogeta, because I prefer him to Vegito.
Last one! Man, these things are so easy to find nowadays.
Yes!
Yeah, they are.
Now, with this ultimate power, I can finally conquer
Have
the
Gogeta
world.
fight Vegito!
What?
Oh, come on!
Obviously.
It's the ultimate Dragon Ball question! Which fusion of Goku and Vegeta is stronger? Gogeta, the combo greater than legends, or Vegito, the mix who surpassed gods?
Intriguing. They are in many ways identical, yet still quite different. Though in canon, they only have a collective total of 3 brief appearances. To truly determine who would win, let's examine all of their material.
So that's Z,
Fair enough.
GT, Super, movies, games, guidebooks, Toei's Twitter, even all the crazy Xenoverse and hero stuff.
Hold on to your Dragon Balls.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a
One
death
hell of a
battle.
death battle. Fucking Wendy's, man.
Look here. This isn't just
I
an
don't
ordinary
want
denture,
to.
but the globally popular Flexible Smart Custom Denture Kit.
But
It's
why do you
incredibly
need
easy
it to do
use.
that?
Just soak it in hot water for 1 minute.
Imagine, it's 1995 and you're at a movie theater in Japan. You're there to watch
I would've been
Dragon Ball
-5.
Z Fusion Reborn, and it's gonna be the most radical movie ever, dude. I mean, yeah, it was a little weird when Adolf showed up, but then it happened. Goku and
Oh,
Vegeta
yeah.
were pushed to the brink with only one option left. They merged into a single being of amazing power,
Gogeta.
And that would be the greatest thing 8-year-old you ever saw. Yep, You
Fair enough.
peaked at 8. Fun fact, while Vegito had already debuted in the manga 2 months earlier, Gogeta was created first.
Yep.
After all, the movie had been in production throughout the previous year.
Two Saiyans, the proud...
Name Gogeta, fusion of Son Goku and Prince Vegeta. Approximately 5'9" or 175 centimeters, approximately 137 pounds or 62 kilograms. Was created through the Metamoran fusion dance. His first appearance was Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, and he has 1 canon appearance.
Son of royalty and the lower class champion becoming one epic powerhouse? This is the true potential of Goku and Vegeta. Easily a top 5 Dragon Ball moment. Hey, nothing beats the first time we saw Super Saiyan, but I think this comes close.
This method of fusion was taught to Goku by the Metamorans, a mysterious alien people who we never actually see.
But I'd guess they like wearing crop tops with inflatable shoulder pads. Anyway, when Goku taught this fabled technique to Goten and Trunks, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen.
This is the fusion dance. On top of an incredibly precise movement routine, this technique requires both parties to match power levels in order to fuse successfully. A literal personification of the phrase, only as strong as the weakest link.
It's pretty easy to screw up, trust me. But if you nail it, you're the baddest mother effer on the planet.
Though not part of mainline canon, Goku and Vegeta first used this to battle Janemba, a demon basically composed of essence of evil. Probably smells like cats. Gogeta defeated him in less than 2 minutes. 20 years later, Gogeta would become canon to conquer one of the most dangerous entities in the multiverse, Broly.
Obviously, Gogeta's super powerful, but I think his most underappreciated skill is how he comes up with awesome attack names, like the Big Bang Kamehameha.
Dragon Fist, God Kamehameha, God Ki, God Punisher, Instant Transmission, Kaioken, Meteor Explosion, Punisher Shield, Stardust Breaker, Stardust Fall, and the Stardust Smasher.
Stardust Fall, Meteor Explosion, and the ultimate villain killer, Stardust Breaker!
A fancy-looking attack that completely obliterates all traces of evil within a target.
That's how it took out Janemba in one shot. The guy was literally made of evil. Or cats.
Weirdly enough, this is similar to Devilman's Devilmight Beam, which causes the evil within a person to explode and...
Oh, you mean Spike? That guy's hilarious! Which obscure character are you gonna reference next? Icarus? Sour Man? General Rildo? Oh man, that guy's just one letter off from General Dill.
Over the years, Gogeta has achieved the empowered forms of Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan Blue, and even Super Saiyan 4 in his battle against Omega Shenron.
Super Saiyan 4 is a totally unique branch of transformation. Instead of
Super Saiyan Full Power, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Golden Great Ape, Super Saiyan 4, Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breakers, Super Saiyan 4 Kaioken, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Beyond God, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, Perfected Super Saiyan Blue.
using Divine Ki like Super Saiyan God, it taps further into Goku and Vegeta's Saiyan bloodline, giving them fuzzy red fur and teen goth eyeshadow.
Goku has also claimed this form increases a Saiyan's inherent aggression, though you wouldn't know it with Gogeta. He basically becomes Dragon Ball's Bugs Bunny, reveling and messing around with his foe any way he can.
Until the fusion runs out. That's right, the fusion dance has a time limit of 30 minutes. This can be reduced even more if Gogeta uses up a lot of energy. Against Omega Shenron in GT, he split apart after about 10 minutes.
Just more evidence that the amount of power Gogeta possesses is enormous. Even repeatedly striking Broly so hard that the boundaries between dimensions shattered like glass wasn't enough to burn through his time. Hell, he was only in Super Saiyan 1 when he did that. After going blue, Broly didn't stand a chance. Based on earlier in the film, Whis' reaction even implies that Gogeta could possibly...
In Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, Whis theorizes that Goku and Vegeta working together could match Beerus. When Gogeta appears before him in Dragon Ball Super Broly, Whis references this.
Take on Beerus.
In Dragon Ball Heroes, Gogeta continues to prove he's one of the multiverse's S-tier fighters. He even defeated the Crimson Masked Super Saiyan Rose Full Power Goku Black and Ultimate God Slayer Hearts the God Hater. You know, those guys.
And two Gogetas together could take on Fu.
Just Fu? After all that, he's just called Fu?
Dark King Fu, the artificial bio-android demon mutant. He has Saiyan, Namekian, Earthling, Majin, and Eternal Dragon DNA.
Is
What the
this fan
fuck?
fiction?
Hearts the God Whiner claim.
Kinda. Shattered walls between space and time, destroyed a pocket dimension, implied to be on par with Beerus, kicked the negative karma ball containing the minus energy of the Dragon Balls out of orbit, battled Ultimate Hearts and Super Fu, the only fused character to defeat a villain in canon, and has defeated Broly, Crimson Mask Saiyan, and Janemba.
Fu could become an entity akin to Zeno, that little blue baby who can erase a multiverse with a thought.
But these Gogetas achieved even stronger forms than before. One was in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, the boosted form Vegeta achieved during the Tournament of Power. The other was Super Saiyan 4.
In Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku have fought on par with each other multiple times, further supporting how similar the forms are in power in that universe.
But not just any Super Saiyan 4, he was Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker! I think my tongue is permanently twisted now.
These two forms fighting side by side implies that, at least in this iteration, both are similar if not equal in power.
Gogeta's so cool! And there are tons of people who think he'd win this matchup.
In Weekly Jump issue 28 from 1995, the fusion dance was stated to unify Goku and Vegeta's spirits and draw out their power to the max. As long as a fight with Vegito lasts less than 30 minutes, the magazine says Gogeta should win.
And then in the video game Raging Blast, there's a what-if scenario where Gogeta beats Vegito in a sparring session. But he was about to run out of energy, so maybe it could have gone either way.
Though with his power and skill, it's unlikely any opponent would push Gogeta to his limit. Two of the greatest warriors in history merged together as one. What more could you want as a fan? And what more could you fear as a foe?
Damn.
It's the spring of 1995. A demonic menace has threatened to consume the world in chaos. Goku and Vegeta were pushed to the brink with only one option left: fusion! They used one of their most incredible techniques to become a merged being of unimaginable power. Does this sound familiar?
But there wasn't time to teach Vegeta an awkward dance routine he'd ultimately despise. Instead, they used the Patara.
Only the gods themselves could rock bling like this. That's right, the Patara earrings come from the Kais, the gods that supervise the universes.
By placing one earring on each person's opposite ear, the
Fusion name, Vegito or Vegerot. Fusion of Son Goku and Prince Vegeta. Approximately 5'9", approximately 137 pounds. Created via the Patara earrings. First appearance was the Dragon Ball manga. Has 2 canon appearances. And is sometimes spelled Vegito. You'll have to look at the screen if you want to see how it's spelled differently. I'm not spelling it out.
Patara forcibly fuses the two beings together, no power level matching required. In this case, Goku and Vegeta fuse to become Vegito.
Okay, seriously, Vegito? Couldn't they have a better name?
It's not that bad. And remember, Fusion Reborn started production well before Toriyama penned Vegito's first appearance.
So, Toei called dibs on the better name, huh? But still,
yeah.
Shouldn't it be like
and he also
Vegito?
used Beku.
Not like that's much better either. Why Vegito?
It makes more sense in Japanese. Vegito is formed from the first half of Vegeta and the latter half of Kakaroto. This is why Viz Media actually translated it to Vegerot.
Oh, that one sucks too. Okay, bored now. Let's talk about how he blows shit up real good.
Vegito has numerous techniques that are entirely his own, many of which are, fittingly, perfect combinations of Goku and Vegeta's signature moves, such as the Final Kamehameha, formed like Vegeta's Final Flash, but fired like Goku's Kamehameha wave. He's got a Spirit Sword, the Saiyan Shield, and the Banshee Blast. Which, no, it's not the ghost attack you're thinking of.
With Goku and Vegeta's powers combined, Majin Buu was no match. Super Vegito was...
Banshee Blast, Big Bang Kamehameha, Final Kamehameha, Explosive Wave, God Final Flash, God Kamehameha, God Ki, Kaioken, Savage Strike, Spirit's Cannon, Spirit's Sword, and Vegito combination.
So friggin' powerful that even being turned into candy didn't slow him down.
Yeah, no, he just started beating ass.
Delicious.
His level of power had transcended to such an impressive degree that he was capable of effectively ignoring having his matter entirely altered and his DNA eradicated. he continued on as the incredible fighting candy.
No matter.
Which is incredible because like he doesn't have a brain, doesn't have a heart, no lungs, nothing, no organs, no way to sense the world, and he's still just beating this guy's ass as a piece of candy.
No brains, no organs of any kind, and he still kept slapping around that big pink ass.
That's what I just said.
Presumably, this is similar to how Vegeta overpowered Babidi's mind control.
Of note, Daiozen Shu 7 implies Vegito's ability to retain his power despite being transmuted may be a unique attribute of the Potara fusion.
Or how Goku broke through Hit's time skip with Kaioken. A greater power level can overrule basically anything a weaker one does. Though, to be fair, the Super Candy is a pretty extreme example.
But Vegito's a pretty extreme guy, even for the Dragon Ball multiverse. He later got that godly blue hair.
Super Saiyan full power, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super full power Saiyan 4 limit breaker, Super Saiyan God, Saiyan Beyond God, Super Saiyan Blue Barrier, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken.
Spray and beat the crap out of merged Zamasu, a double deity. Like a fusion dick measuring contest, but not at all close.
Though similar to his dancing counterpart, Vegito's time ran out after he overtaxed himself.
Which was kinda weird.
Mechabora once consumed all timelines in the multiverse via a black hole. Vegito should be comparable to this feat in relative power and speed.
Back in the day, they said these Potara fusions were permanent. Turns out it's
Kinda.
only permanent for Supreme Kais. Vegito's form can last up to 1 hour before splitting apart, but can be shortened severely if he goes full tilt. In the manga, Vegito formed after Zamasu fused, and split apart when they expected fused Zamasu to have 20 minutes left, meaning he cut his time down to 40 minutes at most, though in the anime it was way less since he tried to quickly overpower Zamasu with a single attack.
The Potara have their own set of rules. Unlike the fusion dance, this form is maintained by the power of the earrings, not the fusers themselves. As such, destroying the earrings ends the fusion.
And if you slap the Potara on while in a Super Saiyan form, you can't power down while fused. So if Goku and Vegeta aren't careful, they can find themselves draining power when they don't need to. But surprise, Vegito's got into his own Super Dragon Ball Hero shenanigans.
Powerful enough to reduce an hour-long transformation into mere minutes, easily overpowered fused Zamasu, battled Mechabora and Superfu, maintained consciousness and combat ability even when transformed into a piece of candy, Super Saiyan 2 Cleffa overpowered Super Saiyan Blue, and defeated Broly Cumber and Super Blue.
And he's got the full power Red Fur too. Look, Wiz, I think I'm having deja vu.
Aside from Fu, he's battled heavy-hitting threats to the multiverse like Cumber and Mechikabura.
And just like with Gogeta, there's plenty of people who think Vegeta would win this fight.
Daizenshus 4 and 7, basically two Dragon Ball encyclopedias, claim that the Potara fusion is superior to the fusion dance.
Old Kai said this too, that the Potara provide a greater effect.
Though they both may be referring to what was believed at the time to be a permanent fusion. Not having to worry about overspending your time limit would certainly be a greater effect if it were true.
But hey, there's nothing that can get in the way of Vegito's awesome power. Gods and demons alike are no match. When there's no one strong enough to save the day, then perhaps two will do.
Feel the dragon's fire.
This show is sponsored by Working Priorities
Therapy
10% TE. All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
Hear my wish, Eternal Dragon. It's time for a death battle!
Thanks, Shenron.
What is this madness?
Whoa, Vegeta! Am I really that much taller than you?
Stuff it, Kakarot!
You...
Chun... Go!
Hell yeah. is already fucking awesome. This song is killer too in my headphones, man. I've never watched any of these with headphones on, so hearing the song.
Not bad. Want to kick it up a notch? Sure. But how about some variety?
Hell yeah. Come on, Gogeta. Get him. Damn, I can barely keep up, man. Damn, how'd they end up here? Oh shit. Got my house. Just how that goes.
Gotcha.
Damn.
Guess it's now or never.
This fight is crazy. Oh, I don't think that Stardust Breaker is gonna work though. He's gonna lose because of his whole final move, isn't he? Goku and Vegeta being... I mean, Vegeta's not purely good. But still, they're not purely evil. And Gogeta lost, right? I want him to win, but yeah, that's what I thought. One hell of a fight, though.
Oh man, that was epic! Totally worth the wish. Though I guess we probably could have solved a lot of world problems with that.
I suppose world domination can wait another year. This fight was incredibly close. Nope, seriously, how could it not be? They're almost exactly the same person.
With a few minor differences.
Gogeta has more canonical victories and more exclusive techniques. But they're both roughly equal in skill. The fusion dance could also fail if it was performed improperly and had a shorter duration than the Potara earrings. Vegeta, on the other hand, was considered stronger by more official sources, had a longer duration due to the Potara earrings, and didn't require Vegeta and Goku to match their power levels. However, he was unable to power down after he had fused.
Here and there, like signature attacks. Neither Vegito nor Gogeta had one single power that provided an absolute edge over the other.
Except perhaps Vegito's longer time limit.
In the alternate ending of the Raging Blast fight where Vegito is victorious, his victory is depicted as more decisive than Gogeta's due to the latter having a shorter time limit.
So it's not so clear-cut. Both have overtaxed their energy quick enough to end their fusions in less than 10 minutes. Time isn't the only factor, but also whatever is maintaining each fusion. Gogeta's body and Vegito's earrings. It's possible Vegito's power can actually drain the Potara faster than Gogeta's does his own body.
Still, it's twice the time, and that definitely...
There's not enough evidence to definitely prove that Potara uses energy differently than the fusion dance. When the two forms appear together in crossovers such as Super Dragon Ball Heroes, this is not an explicit factor.
They gave Vegito more flexibility and strategy, so more often than not, it's safe to say Gogeta would run out of juice first.
Also, when Vegeta or Gogeta defuse from power overuse, it's typically difficult for them to immediately fuse again due to that lack of energy.
But Vegito had another one over Gogeta. No matter what, he'd always have a very slight power advantage. Remember how the fusion dance requires the fusers to match their power levels? Well, the Potara don't need that.
Goku doesn't need to match Vegeta's slight...
Since setting Vegeta's power level as definitely lesser than Goku's is debatable, especially given their spar in Dragon Ball Superhero. Regardless, one is more likely to have a slight edge over the other rather than both being exactly equal, requiring one to lower their power level. Because this matchup is so close, even a slight drop makes a difference.
We lower power levels, so there's nothing stopping Vegito from combining the full sum of their parts.
Ah, poor Vegeta. You'll get your day in the sun one day, buddy. Oh, who am I kidding?
This might be what Old Cat was referring to when he said the Potara had a greater effect.
But hey, could Gogeta have destroyed the earrings? Nope! He would have had to be able to overpower Vegito first, like how Goku could only destroy Kefla's earrings after he reached Ultra Instinct.
Remember, when comparing levels of power in Dragon Ball, the greater one can overrule almost anything the weaker one does. The earrings likely tend to be protected by the user's ki aura, similar to their clothing.
The only time we've ever seen Potara damaged or specifically targeted are when the wearer is overwhelmed or in a vulnerable state. If any stray ki blast could destroy them, we'd have a lot more broken earrings by now.
Lastly, there's some debate over their personalities. In their first appearance,
there's no consistent evidence Goku or Vegeta has more influence over either of their fusions. Vegito's taunting and Gogeta's lack of seems more related to the context of the fights. Dragon Ball Super Broly appears to align Vegeta's personality and voice with that of Vegito, as seen in Dragon Ball Super.
Vegito seemed rather cocky and playful against Buu, whereas Gogeta was far more deliberate against Janemba, and thus far more successful. However, these are not core personality traits, and assuming so would be inconsistent with Vegito's serious fight with Zamasu and Gogeta's more brash fights with Broly and Omega Shenron. Context is key. As far as personality and mental ability goes, Gogeta and Vegito are practically identical. In the end, Vegito's higher power level, no matter how slight it was, made a big difference in protecting and maintaining his longer, more flexible time limit.
Gogeta was gonna need meta more than that to beat Vegito. Sorry, Wiz, I know that pun was potarible.
Wait, shut up. Earth's Dragon Balls give 2 wishes, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Shenron, I wish for you to fuse me and win!
No, what?
The winner is Vegito.
Oh, we don't even get to see. Oh, that sucks. I would have loved to see that. That would have been cool. The voice was nice at the end, though, but that would have been cool to see. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. That's a pack opened. And 5 more videos added to the collection. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and all that crap. Go give Death Battle the love they deserve for making these awesome videos. Come back Wednesday for the singles, and I guess I'll see you guys next weekend for a new episode. Peace out, everybody.